This is the Say It Can't Gamer, and you are live with the MMA-Holes!
Mixed Martial A-Holes! MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes. You like to be a mixed martial A-hole. MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes.
Boom, 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 boom.
No way.
From the Queen Studios of New York, Season 3, Episode 1, Khabib versus Ferguson, not happening. UFC 232 recap. MMA news with the MMA-Holes. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope you are.
Wonderful, wonderful.
There it is. The first wonderful of the new year. 2019 is here. We are back in the mystical studios over here. TGIW, Season 3, Episode number 1. We've been doing this weekly show for a minute now. It's been happening a long time. So it's good to be here. Well, I mean, a little over 2 years we've been doing this, and now we're on our third. And it's exciting. It really is exciting to be here again. Last year was a fantastic year. We ended super strong, made a lot of new friends over there inside this chat room. It's good to see each and every one of you here Wednesday night, the first Wednesday of the year. Jesse, how does it feel the first Wednesday of the year?
It feels wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I'm just changing Nightbot. Don't mind me.
The first donation of the year is here. What would Moss do? Let's see.
Option 1. 10 bodybuilders skied on your face live on the MMA-Holes for 400k too. Suck a BBC knowing live on air. The BBC has herpes from million or 3. Get locked in a cage with Tyron Woodley for 30 minutes.
Man, oh man.
After calling him an angry Cooney Negro.
Okay. As I'm trying to figure out my chat over here, of course, right off the bat, we had technical difficulties. That's why we started off late. But the options, let's see what the options were again, as I was trying to fix my chat room. It seems like this chat room is working fine. All right, let's see. This is option 1, 10 bodybuilders skied on my face on the MMA-Holes for $400,000. That does not sound like a good time. Suck a BBC. BBC knowing live on air the BBC has herpes for $1.5 million. No, that's not going to happen. Got locked in a cage with Tyron Woodley for 30 minutes after calling him an angry Cooney Negro. I'm going to go with the third one. I'm going to go with the third one, just because it actually sounds like a good time, right? That sounds like a lot of fun, Jesse. So I'm going to go with that one over there. All right, Jesse, let me know how you're doing today. It is Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
It feels good to be Wednesday, and I'm going to have it on your face. Wednesday. I need you to talk to these people as I try to fix my chat room over here. I don't know what this is about, Jesse. I don't know. All right, here we go. Jesse's going to be talking to you.
To all the MMA-Holes in the chat, thank you for joining us. And to all the ones not in the chat who are watching this on the replay, shame on you.
Shame.
For not being in the chat while we were live.
Shame.
But thank you for joining us anyways, later on, afterwards. We are now in the guest room. You didn't get to see Spider-Man, but one day you will. As long as you subscribe and hit that notification bell, you'll always get to see Spider-Man when we're in the guest room.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So I can't get the fucking chat to work. What is this about?
Chat's broken.
What is that about?
Soma loves my horse teeth. Thank you, Soma.
All right, Soma. Very nice of Soma
your
over
teeth,
there.
Soma.
Yeah, Soma's probably has a horse face. It's like the whole horse.
That's why only her eyes are showing in the profile picture.
Yeah, it's possible.
So nobody knows. That is a sign of an insecurity, Soma.
Well.
I take my horse teeth proudly.
Wonderful. All right.
Seriously says, who is the gorgeous brunette during the fights?
Who is that girl, Jesse?
Oh,
do you have an idea?
Jenny Talia.
Jenny Talia. Oh, that's my cousin. Jenny Talia is someone that is wonderful. What is up with this? Hold on a second.
Danny Martin says Jesse's in the closet. It's true. I am. Cursilina says I'm wearing a Spider-Man onesie right now.
Ooh.
Can I have it? That's actually... Can you get a Spider-Man onesie? It's kinda hot.
A Spider-Man onesie?
Yeah.
It does sound like a good time. Look at this shit. So, what is going on?
Like,
right off the bat, from the first show of the year, the first Wednesday of the year, the first time we were live on 2019, and the fucking chat is not working. Let's see if the chat
because
works.
we wouldn't be
here.
starting the year off right without technical...
that chat works.
What is it called? Technical difficulties.
You have difficulty
My
saying
brain is all over the
difficulties.
place now. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Yeah.
Why did JJ win Fighter of the Year?
Who won fight? Oh, Jon Jones?
Jon
Did he
Jones.
really win Fighter of the Year?
I don't know. I know.
That would be ridiculous if he did.
Yeah. Zane Rosby says Artem Lobov is the GOAT. It's true. Boneyard Militia. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Boneyard. Sean McKenzie says, Fook Jon Jones. Drunk Savage, this is why you do a test run. Well, we always do, Drunk Savage, but this is what you get with live shows. Expect for anything and everything to possibly go wrong, because it will. At some point during live streaming, something will go wrong.
We had technical difficulties to start the show. That's why we're an hour late.
Yep.
And now we are having difficulties here. Like, what is going on? All right, we're going to put this chat over here. How about that?
Ta-da!
We'll do that.
Look at that. A nice, moving, a healthy chat right there.
That's good. All right,
It's a
so
very
here we
healthy
go.
chat.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be changing shit around live on air because I just don't give a fuck. That's right. We're going to be switching shit around here. Live 2019. Shit's falling apart immediately. But we don't care. Right, Jesse?
Right.
So I'm going to be changing shit up here.
Celio2 says Handsome Truth says hi.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Oh,
Hey,
that was a
Handsome
good part.
Truth. Handsome Truth, fantastic person, gets his channel shut down every other day, and
Yeah.
now he's on Handsome Truth number 8.
X-Ghost is asking for a little pepper with his salt. Sean McKenzie's saying, Jenny gave me some technical difficulties on New Year's. LOL.
All right.
Time Walk says, Jones is the man. Good role model. Good role model for kids.
He is. Jon Jones is a very good role model for kids. We got a donation coming in. Let's see what we got here. The face of JBH.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
These horse teeth comments are mean-spirited. JBH has very nice teeth, a great smile, and a wonderful, wonderful broadcasting voice.
No way.
Her flaw is her attraction to older ginger men that are 5.5 inches hard. Lack of orgasm equals looking upset.
Well, I'm very glad you enjoy my teeth. The face of JBH.
Yes. There you go. It's Jesse showing off the goods. Yeah. No one gives a fuck. But thank you for the donation over there. Yeah. You know, people are... Well, we have a new moderator. Let's shout out the new moderator. 2019 has started off with a bang because Michael Anzalone is now our new moderator over here. So shout out to Michael Anzalone for being wonderful, and starting the new year as our security guard. So everyone respect the chat, or Michael Anzalone will slap you over the head with his goddamn wrench. Jesse, what do you think about Michael Anzalone being our new swole sexy moderator?
I think Michael Anzalone is...
Wonderful.
Yes, he is wonderful.
That's right, Drunk Savage. I'm doing my Kenshiro face.
Okay.
DDS Aquatic says, for real doing her JBH doing her Kenshiro face. Oh, for real, you got a good one, says DDS Aquatics.
For reals. All right,
For
here we go.
reals.
We are starting a little late tonight because of technical difficulties, but that doesn't stop us. Shout out to our sponsor, BetDSI, going into the new year.
What?
BetDSI is wonderful. A lot of stuff to talk about with BetDSI. The odds were interesting. Underdogs winning over not too much.
What is BetDSI, though?
BetDSI. Well, I mean, you know, I was looking for a place to gamble.
Were you?
Yeah, and I was like, where can I go? There's nothing really reliable. You know, I want some good odds. I want the right odds.
Right.
I want to win money, because that's what it's about, Jesse.
That's what it's about.
It's about fucking winning some money.
Well, I know some more about what it's about.
You know, it's funny that you have some information on this, because next week, UFC will be on ESPN+. It's
right.
a wonderful card over there. Look, this is not the card, Jesse. That's not the card. This is the card. Cejudo versus Dillashaw. You look down over here, some very interesting fights, a stacked main event. Wow. So if I wanted to place a bet, Jesse.
Yes.
I mean, I know BetDSI is good.
Right.
But should I go over there? I mean, I don't know.
I think you should. Do you want me to convince you?
Well, all right. Why?
Well, just because you're not in Vegas, it doesn't mean you can't bet on MMA and UFC. BetDSI offers online wagering and has been paying winners for 20 years. Use the link in the description with promo code MMAHOLE, all one word. Again, the promo code is MMAHOLE with the link in the description, and you can earn more than double your money to start winning today. It has been paying winners for 20 years, top rated on betting review sites. Use your sports knowledge to make some extra cash.
I cannot wait to place my next bet over here on BetDSI. We'll check out the odds later in the show. Wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
All right, Jesse, here we
Wonderful,
go.
wonderful.
This fight is not happening. Khabib, Tony Ferguson is not happening.
Super chat.
But what is happening is a super chat.
You guys made me cancel my jack-off session. Love you.
Cure Silliness back.
You're welcome. Cure silliness.
You know what? Cure Silliness is indeed wonderful, wonderful. And I'm going to play a little MMA whole song for him.
MMA Hole.
This goes out to Cure Silliness. Marky Wahoo singing the MMA whole song. You are wonderful, wonderful. All right. Thank you, Cure Silliness, for the donation over there. And how about that? Cure Silliness we've seen in the chat on the New Year's stream. And yeah, we were live on New Year's Eve. We did a 2-streamer because the stream went down, of course. Why would there be technical difficulties?
Of course.
And yeah, that was fun. Let me know in the chat with the ones if you were here for the New Year's stream.
Stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Bet
Choo-choo,
Big
motherfuckers.
DSI has
Choo-choo,
just donated.
motherfuckers.
Let's see what he's got to say.
BETDSI promo code MMAHOLE. The large chin is taking bets. Here's a safe bet. I'm willing to bet no wise white man would walk the streets of Queensbridge after dark.
It's true.
Sign up to MMA-Holes Patreon to learn where not to walk at night if white.
Thank you. A big bet DSI. Thank you for the donation over there. Look at that. They're even donating during the show, Jesse. It's
great.
unbelievable.
It's great.
All right. This fight is not happening, Jesse. Ali Abdelaziz is saying that this fight is not happening. Nurmagomedov versus Ferguson. The fight everyone's been wanting to see. I am sort of not surprised, but I am heavily disappointed. And the first thing that comes to my mind is Conor McGregor. For fuck's sake, I'm really starting to believe that the rematch is inevitable. And I am kind of pissed. I mean, listen, yes, the lead up to the fight will be fun. It will be a lot of ratings for the MMA holes. But, man, Khabib versus Ferguson should be the next fight for the champion over here. The toughest fight at the 155-pound weight class, especially with Kevin Lee losing. You know, there's not really much happening over there. You can't really give out Ike Quinta the rematch. I mean, you could, I guess. But they say they want the biggest money fight. So in the chat, let me know. Well, before you let me know, let's get to the news. We got a new MMA hole over here.
Dave Hammercock Toilet.
The Hammercock. And it's time to fap. The news is back. The first fap of the year. News is back. Time to fap.
What's in the news?
Since we acting all confused.
MMA is what we need. Well, Mark this pussy, please. Jesse with the 5'7" height, Fuka Friday, bringing out all them white knights. That's right, ass tight, plump lips, news all night. The MMA holes got bites.
She got it. She got it. She did it. Time to fap. The news is back. Holy shit. JBH got through it the first time ever. Wonderful, wonderful. The news is back. All right. 2019 is here. And it's time for the first story of the year. Not the best story of the year, but here we go, Jesse. What is in the news?
According to Bloody Elbow, Manager Ali Abdelaziz says 100% Tony Ferguson is not the next fight for Khabib Nurmagomedov.
No!
In an ideal scenario, Tony Ferguson is the next in line to challenge Khabib Nurmagomedov for the UFC lightweight title. It is a fight that had been put off for 4 times now due to issues on par of both men.
Super chat.
Hey, it's David the Hammercock.
Hi, I stumbled onto your stream. How big are you, dumps?
How big are my dumps or Jesse's dumps? My dumps aren't that big.
I bet my dumps beat your dumps.
Yeah, her dumps go around the bowl, come back up. Mine are short, compact, and stumpy. Yeah. So there you go. Not the best dumps in the world. So if you'd like to know that, there's the answer.
Yep.
And let me know in the chat, what's the circumference of your dumps in the chat? I would love to know.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Back to the story.
Facing El Kukui could be the biggest legacy fight for the undefeated Khabib right now, but his manager, Ali Abdelaziz, is putting more focus on money matters.
CBD.
The donation's on fire.
CBD.
It's Dana White.
CBD.
CBD.
CBD. CBD. CBD. CBD. CBD. CBD. CBD. CBD. CBD. CBD. CBD.
All right, Nate Diaz.
Healing process and information and stuff like that. So you wanted to get these for before or after the fight training and make your life a better place.
Let's see what Nate has to say.
I give Conor a title shot anytime I want. He could be coming off 6 loses in a row and he's still the GOAT and deserves a title shot.
It's true.
In the new UFC, all you need to do is make big numbers for a title shot. Just ask Brock and McTapper. Suck my Irish D.
There you go. Dana White. Dana White jumping in with the donation. Thank you, Dana White, with that wonderful, wonderful donation. And that's right. If you're just jumping in, this fight is not happening according to Ali Abdelaziz. And Ali Abdelaziz is fucking up this sport over here. I mean, this if the McGregor fight happens again, I understand that Khabib wants to get paid, but doesn't that kind of say he's ducking Tony Ferguson? Back to the story, Jesse. Love to know the rest of this shit show.
Abdelaziz says, at the end of the day, Khabib doesn't need to fight anybody else for his legacy. He's done what he's done. He's 27-0. He's 12-0 in the UFC. He's never been dropped. He's never been caught. He's never been knocked down. Let's talk about a GOAT. No PEDs. We talk about the greatest of all time. I think he should be on the top of the list because he never lost to anybody.
Watch out!
I fell off a shopping cart. It really fucking hurt so much. My muscular ass is sore. I let out my manly roar.
Everybody sing!
I fell off my shopping cart. It really fucking hurt so much. My muscular ass is sore. I like to beat up girls with ease.
Oh my God.
With ease.
The darkest timeline.
Ouch.
Oh my God, the darkest timeline. Thank you. Ouch. Cyborg jumping out of the shopping cart.
I don't have a wrench, but I always sport plumber's crack. I don't believe Ferguson and Khabib is never happening. More bullshit spews from the UFC than Steven Seagal's colostomy bag after being choked out by Jean LaBelle. Jesse, you did it. Oh yes, lol.
Thank you. Wow.
Oh, that's great.
That was a powerful donation right there. And
I love it.
The shopping cart, maybe, and we're going to be talking about UFC 232. I mean, what an event, right? What a way to end the year. Jon Jones beating Gustafsson, but how he beat him, and Cyborg losing to the mighty Amanda Nunes. Fantastic stuff. We're going to be talking about that, and perhaps the shopping cart was the reason for a Cyborg's loss, Jesse. We lost you for a second. You're zoned. You're in the zone. What zone are we in here? I don't know what happened here. We've completely...
I just now realized I zoned out.
You were literally like... If you're listening on Podbean and iTunes, Jesse has just completely flew into space. Maybe it's a shopping cart donation. I mean, it's so mesmerizing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It could be, but let's get back to the story over here. The donation's on fire to start the year 2019. It's the only way to start 2019 with the MMA-Holes.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Ali Abdelaziz continued on to say he's never lost to anybody. He's never
super chat.
We got Curacil
I
in
might
his
as well
back.
just skip this article.
Which would you choose, your DIK chopped off or JBH dead?
All right,
Can
hold
I
on a
choose
second.
for you?
Let's see.
Can I choose for you?
Would I like my dick chopped off or JBH dead? I am thinking of what I should do.
I'd rather die.
Do I want my dick chopped off or JBH faces death? What a question to answer. Well, here's my answer. You can chop my penis off and give me a bigger cock, because Jesse will still be alive and enjoy a black cock on my body. It will be wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
No, Drunk Savage makes a good point.
What?
What's the point of living without a penis?
Well, I just showed you. I mean, the song right there.
No, but if you're not given another penis, then you are short a penis, and I'm technically short a penis.
You didn't hear the words to the song.
No, but you said so that I could have a bigger.
Yeah, enjoyable cock. Yeah, big black cock.
But I enjoy your cock the way it is now.
All right. You don't want a big black cock on
No,
me?
I don't. I want your cock.
No.
But even if you weren't given that cock, that big cock,
I like the way you say cock. You're like clock. I like that. Say it again.
No.
Clock.
I don't say that.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
I like a big clock.
I don't say that.
I do like that. I say cock.
Yeah.
It sounds rude when I say it, but when you say it, it's like clock. All right, let's move on.
Wonderful,
Thank you for the donation, and you're welcome for my beautiful voice. All right. What else do we have in this story, Jesse? Trying to get through it.
Abdelaziz continued to say he's never lost, he's never been dropped, he's never been stitched, nothing. Following the argument, Abdelaziz says that Ferguson fight can be held off for later, saying, quote, "So we want the biggest money fight he can make, boxing, MMA, whatever. I love Tony Ferguson. He's not that. I can tell you that. 100% Tony Ferguson is not the next fight, because Tony Ferguson, I need someone who can sell pay-per-views. At the end of the day, it will be the exact same situation Khabib was supposed to fight Eddie Alvarez. Remember that? When he got taken out in place of Conor McGregor, we understood it because Conor's going to bring pay-per-views. We need people who can help us sell pay-per-views, and that's it. The biggest money fight for Khabib is still against McGregor, which UFC President Dana White foresees happening in 2019, as long as everything goes right, which we'll get into."
Wow. Okay. I think we have a lot to talk about with this topic over here. Okay.
Just don't talk about Khabib Conor, because
Conor. All right, listen. There is so much to talk about over here. There is a lot of bashing that we can do, right? We can bash the UFC for making a rematch, and I am a Conor guy, right? He's right over here.
Yeah.
The OGs know.
Yep.
I'm a big Conor fan, and listen, Conor brings me money. He brings me numbers. He brings me a lot, Conor. He brings me proper 12. He does it all for me, right? He's a great guy, and I think he's funny. I like his style of fighting. And the beauty of a Conor fight is, except for one time, two times, you see finishes. You see him try to go in there and take your head off, or his head will get choked out. You know, we see a lot of things. A lot of things happen in Conor fights. There's always a satisfying ending, right? There is an ending, usually in a Conor fight. Yes. So I'm always pumped up for it, the beginning, middle, and end for that. In this situation, if they were to throw Conor back in against Khabib, I get it for the money reasons, but it just leaves I'm just trying to figure out the angle here. Conor was a double champ, and people question the way he became a double champ, and everyone has their opinion on that, you know. But now it's like, it really is about money. You know, it really is about that, and it kind of doesn't make sense. You should not give a man a rematch, right, who got stripped of his belt and then gets choked out. Now, they might angle... And it's a stretch, and I've joked around about this angle before, but I have a feeling if they do market this, what are they going to say? Conor was the first person to win a round against Khabib. You know they're going to say shit like that. You know it. Conor didn't take this seriously. He was coked up and drunk, but now he's taking it serious. Conor McGregor is a different fighter now, and the former double champ is looking for his revenge. Like, this is what they're going to be saying, right? Yeah. Khabib's like, I smashed you in front of my gun. You know, there's my Khabib.
You can't
Steven
stop
Irons.
Irons. Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Is there anyone more annoying than Ali Abdelaziz in the whole of the UFC and all of MMA?
Man, Steven. And first of all, it's Ali.
Colby Covington.
I found out the real way to say Ali's name. It's Ali Abdelaziz. That's how you say his name. Yeah.
That's not even how it's spelled.
No, that's how you pronounce it.
What?
Ali Abdelaziz. Yeah, it's the truth. That's how you... Wonderful, wonderful. That's how you say his name. Thank you for the donation coming in over there. Yeah, he is a disease. Because, I mean, listen, he's trying to get his fighter the biggest paycheck. I get it. But I'm just trying to figure out what the angles are. It's ridiculous, right? It is ridiculous. This is how a rematch should happen, right? Tony fights Khabib. Conor smokes his next opponent. Say if Conor has a top 5 guy and he smokes his opponent, okay, maybe you can throw him back in there and go for another beating. Maybe. Honestly, I feel that if McGregor does fight him again, I feel it's going to be closer. I can't see a win, but I do feel it's going to be a closer match. I feel it's going to be a smarter match, but I still can't wrap my head around him winning. Here's the super chat. Oh, it's Conor. Look at that.
Khabib versus Ferguson ain't happen on my watch.
Well, Conor has spoken. It's not happening on his watch. It's not happening. Now, I'm trying to think to myself, right? Before the show, I was like, what is the other fight? Like, GSP's not coming back. That's not happening. He has no interest. Like, you see him, he's just not having it, the UFC right now. And he was speaking about the Khabib fight. I just don't see it. I don't see GSP coming back. So now the question is, who would be the next person? If Ferguson's not the guy, do you give it to Poirier? Right. I mean, that would be nice for Poirier, right? Poirier gets that shot. I think he deserves it. It's not a money fight. Mm-hmm. Dustin Poirier, DP, is not a money fight. Ally Quinta, you know what? You may be able to market something over there. But is that really the right fight that's supposed to happen? No, that's not the fight. What is the fight? If you take GSP and you take Conor out of the picture, who the fuck is this guy fighting? Would he fight Tyron Woodley? Is that the fight, Jesse?
Maybe.
Sink your teeth into that one.
Well, I have a story on Tyron Woodley.
Because that could be the next fight. Now, before we get into that next story, let's see what the chat room has to say. 143 people watching. Make sure you check out BetDSI. Link in the description. Get your fucking bets in, because we're going to make your ass some money. Silliness.
Have you ever heard of James Gallagher? He's a peen.
I met him. Thank you, Cure Silliness. Well, listen, if you watch our intro, and thank you, Cure Silliness. If you watch our intro, he's in it. James Gallagher's in it. Everyone in our intro was on the show. Gallagher is an extremely nice kid. He is a penis when it comes to his marketing strategy. A big penis. Like, well, actually, maybe an Irish penis. I don't know. He is a returd, as Galifianakis would say. But in person, great guy. Met him, really, really nice guy. All right, Jesse. Let's see. What is our next story? All right, you pointing at the chat? You want to see? All right, let's see what else we got in the chat.
Well, because he said read the chat.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, fuck it. Listen, chat, I'm sorry. It's the first day of the year. Go ahead.
And he says, Drunk Savage, I got you. Yep, Fritz Mott says, Tony should call out Tyron since Khabib is scared. Credo Ape Thor says, wonderful, wonderful. Staley02
Wonderful.
says, Woodley has a small cock syndrome. Tucker Baker, Tyron Woodley locked up in my basement helping him with his new album. G. Zion Lux Gaming says, are you and Jesse dating MMA-Holes? Everyone says you are.
Yeah.
Where have you been, buddy?
Yeah, I've stuck my penis in her many of times. It felt good. It felt really good. So yeah, we're good. We're good to go.
That's it. Yeah, good.
Levy Garcia says #1 bullshit. Cure Silliness. Yeah, he just acts like Conor McGregor too much. Vlad Sean Hart, as it is white people, don't fuck with Tyron, LOL. Doc Dreamer says, I hate Abdelaziz, and it's time that Conor fights Tony. Conor McGregor.
Doc Dreamer, is that the guy? Is that the guy that we met at Premier FC? I can't tell. Isn't that the guy? Or am I thinking of someone else? I think he was Doc something. Doc Dreamer, let me know in the chat if you were the guy that we met at Premier FC a little while back.
I mean, if it's a troll, they're going to say yes regardless. But.
No, you don't automatically. I mean, there's a lot of trolls in here, but maybe that is the guy. Well, let us know in the chat. All right, what else do we have in that chat?
Conor McGregor says Khabib is scared. If he was scared, he wouldn't fight me. Question mark? Mike H says, good.
Good.
That's it. Yeah, good.
Yes.
Stanley Moon would like a little pepper with his salt. NH says, Chris, play Lick My Balls.
For NH, for you, anything.
Lick my balls.
All right, let's go to the next story over here. Thank you for joining us tonight. It is Wednesday night. This is season number 3, episode number 1.
The very first episode of season 3.
2019. Feels good to be in 2019. This is going to be our biggest year yet. By the way, before we get into this story over here, Drunk Savage, I believe it was, on the MMAHoles.com said, by the way, Zion Lux says, I love the show. Puts me in a good mood. Seeing you two, the MMA Holes, keep up the good work, gangsters.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Every once in a while, my eyeball peeks over there and I see something really good. Thank you very much. Drunk Savage asked on the message board. The MMAHoles.com, there is a message board. You can go over there, sign up, hang out, and it's a wonderful, wonderful time. Anytime you have something on your mind or if there's any breaking news, drop it over there and we'll discuss. Drunk Savage said, Mystic, what do you predict for... That was slick. I saw what you did there. I'm not going to say what you did. Guess in the chat what Jesse just did. It was very slick what she did. And let's 2019 is the year of fixing Jesse's posture. Let's try that. We're gonna put her up there.
You've had posture.
My posture is, I'm 41. For God's sakes.
You can't stop this
Choo choo. Sean McKenzie.
Motherfuckers. Choo choo motherfuckers. Choo choo motherfuckers.
Fuck Jon Jones. All the Joe Rogan podcast proved to me is that Jones is a snitch and Frank Mir got fucked with his pants on. Fuck Jon Jones. GSP would murk Khabib. Fuck Jon Jones. I want Conor versus Cowboy. Fuck Jon Jones. Wanna see Woodley versus Usman. Fuck Jon Jones.
There you go, Sean McKenzie.
Fuck Jon Jones.
I think he's not a fan of Jon Jones. We're gonna get into the Jon Jones situation, but we got another donation. Nathan Bedford.
Choo choo motherfuckers. Choo choo motherfuckers. Choo choo motherfuckers.
Let's see what Nathan has to say.
If Conor v Khabib 2 happens, chances are Khabib wins again. Can't learn wrestling in a year while selling whiskey. Does Conor still sell big PPV after 3 bad L's in a row? By the way, title fight at 170 is a coon-on-coon crime.
I can't.
It's a horrible thing to say.
It's great. Listen, it's funny. I don't care. It's actually pretty funny. It might be a little racist, but it's a little funny. Just a little bit. Conor McGregor, this is what I'm going to say about Conor. I think he's got 3 more fights left on his contract, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? No matter how many
4.
fights he has left. 3 or 4 fights on his contract. I don't know what it is. I think it's 3, but who knows? I could be wrong. It's under 5. I feel if he loses all of his fights, it's still a huge pay-per-view. You have to remember, and this is the allure of Conor, he always finds a way to sell it whether it's cringe, whether it's humor, whether it's psychological warfare. He always brings it to the table. His social media is booming, and he always finds a way to sell that fight. So he doesn't have to win another fight. Yeah. He really doesn't. He won his 2 belts. He was already the double champ. He doesn't really have much more to prove, so he's a pay-per-view machine. Vlad.
Choo-choo motherfuckers. Choo-choo motherfuckers.
Vlad says,
What's a bigger fight for Khabib than fighting Conor, Tyrone, GSP and Tony? Of course. The next coming of Churst. Dylan motherfucking Donnies. The UFC are in talks with another trade.
Dylan Dennis. Now, actually, listen, Dylan. I mean, and I know there's a lot of joking going on in that. Dylan Dennis, who is the god of MMA, right? I mean, especially jiu-jitsu. The guy's the greatest of all time. Well, Artem is the best striker, right? Dylan is the jiu-jitsu specialist, right? And if you put them together, you have the perfect fighter. So I feel Dylan Dennis and Artem Lobov should have sex, right? Anyway, but what is the biggest fight for Khabib if it wasn't Conor and it wasn't GSP? Both of them, I feel Conor, the rematch is going to happen. I can't even believe I'm saying this, but the article is going to happen right now.
Right.
Oh, by the way, I know I'm all over the place. The donations have been throwing us all off. Before those 2 donations came in, Drunk Savage said, Mystic, make your pick this year. Right now, we've passed 16,000 subscribers. We're at 16,735. And what is your prediction? And we're going to ask Jesse as well. And what came to my mind was I was like, 25? Nope. We're going 30,000 subscribers. That's what I'm saying. 30,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Mark it down on your calendars. At 10:34 Eastern Time, the MMA Holes Season number 3, episode 1, made a prediction. Now, last year, we made a prediction. We said we're going to get to 15K by the end of the year, and we were over by a K. This time, we're going to get to 30,000. 30,000 subscribers by the end of this year. That is our prediction. Let us know in the chat, what is your prediction as we move on to the next topic? What do they have to say in the chat?
Sean McKenzie says Stephen Irons, Jon Jones is a lying, cheating, limp dick, baby carrot snitch. Stelio 2 is laughing at Drunk Savage. Drunk Savage says 30K motherfuckers. Michael Chapman 16,750. Brian Merger, Fook, yes 30K. 26K says Stelio 2. Drunk Savage flexing in the chat. Mike H is fisting in the chat now and later says Amanda Nunes, making Brazil great again. Miu Pardito AO Brazil. Making Brazil great again with a bunch of goats. And H says 30,000 by the end of 2019. Yes. John Dollar says 150K subs by 2020. Drunk Savage says 30,001. Stelio 2, 66K. EF says Tony Ferguson, the type of dude, does not need the belt to be the champ. El Kukui, the real champ. The people's champ. Brian Rogers says 100,000. Stephen Irons says Sean McKenzie, he's your light heavyweight, and I missed the rest. Stelio 2 says 1,000,000. 35K says NH Vlad says Allahu Akbar. Zion Lux Gaming says, what do you think of McGregor vs. Holloway 2? We'll talk about that. Now Lady says, love holes, woo. Herbine C says, haven't been here in a while. I see you got a new co-host. She looks yummy. I've been here since season 1. Where the fuck have you been?
Wow, Herbine. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I haven't seen Herbine in a minute. Herbine, welcome back. Herbine's been around for a long time. Let me know in the chat.
Herbine.
When did you come to the channel?
Herbine.
Herbine's been around before you.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Herbine.
Or Herbine?
No, Herbine. Herbine.
Herbine.
Herbine.
I will Herbine. I'm a Herbine. You never know.
Do you get it? Herbine.
Yeah.
Herbine.
No, it's Herbine.
It's Herbine. It's your bean. It's her bean.
Yes, my beans. It's his beans or her beans. We don't know whose beans it is. But anyway, Herbine's been around forever. Let me know in the chat. How long have you been here with the MMA-Holes? How many people came from our last Fight Buddies? PFL, perhaps?
Thank you, Stephen Irons.
Or how about UFC 232? And how long have you been here? I mean, it's 2019, for God's sakes. As you get the year or how long you've been here in that chat room, 20 likes. 40 likes. 60 likes.
20 likes, 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. 20 likes, 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. 20 likes, 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. I hope the dislikes die of leprosy.
I always love seeing the old faces and the new faces in the chat. It's good to see this community grow. This is a very tight-knit community over here. We all are family. We bust each other's balls. We have fun. It's high-paced, high energy, and we all have the same love, mixed martial arts, in an interestingly cringy way. Jesse, how long have they been in the chat?
Fuck knows. 2 weeks since Return of the Jack. I started with the JBH generation, says Schlog Boy. Zayden Ravzi says since 2019, I think he said. You are great, says Jason Beck. Herbine says LOL. 13 years strong, says now 13 years. 13 years.
Yeah, this is our 13th year. Yeah.
Henry Sosa says, I know I came here before Zombie. After Zombie lost, I got brain damage. Zion Lux Gaming says 8 months. Sean Hart says just under a year, but I had seen a few times before where I really got into it before JBH was even a holographic wonder. Mystic Mitch says pre 1,000 subscribers. Steven Irons says I fucking love this channel. I hope we have 1 million within a year. We need to go viral. I've been here since Sammy Sosa was black, says Mark Jackson. Hanato Jorge says, do you remember JBH asking Mystic Mama what is a cunnilingus?
Yeah,
I do remember that.
Yeah, it was last year.
Sean McKenzie says, I don't remember exactly when I joined. Doc Dreamer since 229. I think I was the 10th subscriber, says Strickland93. Khalil Rosa says, I've been here since 1.5K. 20 years, says Ebbs Rock. 18 months, says Brian Reuter. Timothy Stevens says, I like JBH Bean. I like your bean, Timothy. Eddie Franco retracted his message. Aussie Dude says, about 4,000 subs. Van Shipman says, I'm the second child. Danny Martin, I've been watching since UFC 205. Slogboy says, MMA-Holes is older than Floyd's last opponent.
Wonderful.
Before we get into the next story, let's just briefly touch upon Floyd's fight over there. I don't know the kid's name, and it's easily forgettable because of what happened. Tenshin Nasukawa. Okay.
Yes.
Tenshin Nasukawa is what, 105 pounds soaking wet, right? Is that what it's going on? Tenshin Nasukawa fights Floyd Mayweather. 2 minutes. Floyd
I
gets.
have stories on them, by the way.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right, let's just go through the news then. All right, fuck it. What is the next story over here? We're piggybacking off of this not happening over here. Not happening. Nurmagomedov versus Ferguson. Ali Abdelaziz says, no. Never happening. Not happening. That's not going down. And it's a very disappointing over here. So now we try to crack the case of what is the next fight. It looks to be Conor McGregor, and I am not completely on board, but to grow this channel, of course I would want this fight to happen, but as a fan, I could see why you would not. What is this story about, Jesse?
All right. Dana White says Khabib versus Conor rematch should happen in 2019. Dana White believes that Khabib Nurmagomedov and Conor McGregor will meet again in 2019 following the Russians' one-sided win over the Irishman at UFC 229 in October. Speaking to TMZ Sports, White insisted that proceedings with NAC stemming from the post-fight fracas at UFC 229 and the overall landscape of the division will have to be taken into account before the UFC can book the rematch. White told TMZ Sports, quote, "I think a lot of people want to see that fight. We got to see how this thing plays out. Obviously, again, we haven't gone in front of the Nevada State Athletic Commission. That's got to happen, and when it does, we can figure out how this whole thing plays out. Is Max Holloway moving to 155? Tony Ferguson's obviously in the mix. We got to see how this whole thing plays out." When pressed on whether the fight could happen this year, White concluded that it could by saying, "Yeah, I do. Obviously, guys are going to have to win, and it depends on how long the suspensions are, but yeah, as long as everything goes right, this fight should happen."
Oh, all right. Here's my proposal to the UFC. All right. Khabib versus Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Listen, Khabib is pulling all the weight here. Ferguson, for some odd reason, does not get any views. His ratings are terrible, but the guy's a fantastic fighter and possibly the best at 155. But for some reason, people don't like watching him, or people don't pay to watch him. People don't travel to watch him, and it's one-sided. The way to fix this is this. You put Tony and Khabib together, right? You make it happen. And then that undercard, you demote Conor for a second. Now, I know he has pride and he's the big name and this and that, but you tell Conor he's going to get paid, right? Somehow you make him the undercard over here. You put him there. You make him fight a Max Holloway, right? Max Holloway versus Conor McGregor at 155 as a co-main event. Yes, a lot of people are going to be like, wait, that should be a main event. Listen, Khabib has never lost. The guy is undefeated. The guy is a beast. And him and Tony is a fantastic fight. You put Tony Khabib top. You undercard it with a Holloway versus McGregor. Now we're talking money. The only problem is the pay-per-view buys. Like, who gets a cut of this? Who gets a cut of that? How do you split it between the co-main and main event? Now you got to up the ticket sales where it's going to happen at the arena. At the gate, you have to up the ante there, or advertising. Maybe you really pull in big sponsors and advertising, give cuts there, or Proper 12. Conor McGregor is pushing Proper 12. Maybe you entice Conor with some more Proper 12 integration. It's the only way we could do it.
You can't stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Doc Dreamer coming.
I hope Conor drops Dolly on Abdelaziz.
I'm with you, Doc. I'm with you. Ali Abdelaziz. No, it's disease, Jesse. Ali Abdelaziz.
I forgot. Ali Abdelaziz.
Yes, get it right. How dare
Sorry,
you.
I was wrong.
It would be nice if Conor threw a dolly through his forehead. I think that's the only way. Yeah. That's the only possible way you can make this fight happen. So a lot of pieces have to come together. I think it's only fair that the UFC finds a way to make this happen, right? If you look at this shit show of UFC 232, Jon Jones, the whole, and that, do we have more? I'm sure we have the steroid stuff over there with Jon. I mean, there's more stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff to talk about here with Jon Jones, and we're going for 2 hours strong, so hang in there. But what they did to the fans for UFC 232, I feel it's only fitting for them to find a way to piece together this fight, make it happen, right? And make the co-main event banging as well. In fact, think about it. UFC 217 had 3 title fights on that card. They can pull shit like this together. Now it's time to get to the drawing board. Give the fans this fight, but stack the fucking card to the gills, whether it's at MSG or whether it's in Las Vegas. Stack it up. Give back to the fans. I don't think that's going to happen. Just because of the track record of the UFC, I feel they're not going to give back. And in fact, we're going to see them running back, Conor and Khabib. That's my feelings on this. But if it was a perfect world, they'll be able to stack this card up and make it happen. Now, Jesse, what would your solution be with this whole situation? What do you think would be a good fix for this whole debacle?
there's a fix. I gotta be honest with you. I don't think there's a fix. I am gonna be one of the few to say that I'd like to see a Conor Khabib rematch, simply because the first one went as expected, but there's something there. There's something missing, and I think that if Conor can really focus, if he can put his mind in the right area instead of doing cocaine and fucking around all the time and not taking it as seriously, I think he underestimated Khabib. And I honestly think that if Conor were to focus, he might stand more of a chance.
All right, so Jesse says,
Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Dalia DiPolito. Okay.
I'm Dalia DiPolito. I met my ex-husband working as a hooker. 1 month later, I moved in with him. 5 months later, we married. 2 months after I tried to hire a hitman to kill him for cash, cops caught me on camera. Google me, Dalia DiPolito.
Okay. After the show, thank you, Dalia DiPolito. I appreciate that. What a donation over there. Only the best. Only the best here on the MMA-Holes. Here's the thing. I feel if Khabib fights Conor again, I understand he gets paid. I understand that. But doesn't that tarnish his legacy just a little bit?
Why do you think so?
Okay. He smashed him, right? Now, in fairness, it wasn't a one round. He smashed him. That's true. It wasn't a 1 round affair, right? In fact, and Khabib wasn't toying with him. He almost, what was it, the second round when he had him on the ground, he was bashing his face in? Like, I mean, it was a mutilation. Conor gets up, he smiles, and then somehow the third round, Conor pulls off a win. You know, it was an interesting one, but it went 4 rounds, right? And then that's when Khabib really poured on. It's not like Khabib toyed with him. Khabib wanted to destroy him immediately, and it didn't happen. It went 4 rounds. I do feel if they rematch, I do feel it's going to be a different fight.
Right.
I think it's going to be a longer fight. I don't know if the outcome is going to be any different, but I feel that it will be a more drawn-out fight. I think we'll see a smarter Conor in this fight.
I agree.
Okay? So I do agree with you with what you said before. But don't you think that kind of hurts Khabib's legacy a little bit here? Don't you think? I mean, giving a guy a rematch.
If anything, it helps him, because if you think it's going to be the same results.
Khabib's not about money.
He wins twice over. No, it's about honor.
Yeah, it's about honor.
But he wins twice over Conor. I mean, in no way is that going to hurt him.
It hurts him a lot. And I'm going to tell you why. This man, leading up to the fight, preached honor, respect, religion, blah, 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 right?
Right.
Now his manager, who rightfully so should be making him the most money, so I get why Ali's doing this, but doesn't that kind of leave a bad taste in your mouth with Khabib? Khabib should be like, no, give me fucking Tony Ferguson. Let me smash him.
Here's how I look at it. Khabib wanted to win against Conor, like you said, for the honor, because Conor was shit-talking his family, was shit-talking his religion, was shit-talking him, making him seem like a disgrace. Conor also made Khabib look weak, and they even mentioned that within Khabib's religion, if you're being, threatened to fight, you fight. You don't just sit there, and Khabib couldn't just get out of the bus and fight Conor for legal reasons or whatever the fuck it was, but that made Khabib look weak, and it offended him. So I think that if Conor were to do the same shit, like in a threatening manner toward Khabib again, if he were to shit talk Khabib and disgrace him, Khabib would want to defend his honor, and he would fight him again. I'd see that happening.
Super
All right,
chat.
let's see what the super chat says. Cure silliness.
I am getting off, so I'm gonna make this donation count. I may not be able to watch your streams during the week, so I'm gonna give you a big.
All right, look at this. Big what? Good night from Cure Silliness with the $5. Cure Silliness. You are
wonderful.
Thank you, or Cure Silliness. Thank you, Cure Silliness, for the nice donations over there. You are wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I want to see Khabib fight Conor for the channel. It would be bonkers for us. It was great. It was actually our biggest video ever. That fight reaction, that Fight Buddies was 400K plus. The fight week, it was like 15 shows in a row where we were 1K plus, and we were just nailing it, destroying it with views. We grew the community so big. So, of course, as a selfish host, I would love to see that fight happen. But listen, as a fan, I want the fight, right? If Khabib follows in what he says, right, and it's about honor, it's about respect, he already closed the door with Conor McGregor. It's done. He finished him. He finished him. He smashed him, like you said and like Khabib said. Fight Tony Ferguson. Tell Dana, yo, stack that card up. Let's make this thing fire. I'll be on top. I'm going to prove that I'm the best 155er out there. I'm going to do that. When Conor rose up at 145, he fucking did it, and he did it strong. He did it on fire. He didn't defend his belt, right? That was the problem. He didn't defend his belt. He didn't defend his belt. Here we go. Khabib has a chance to defend his belt against Conor McGregor, right? And he can do it against Tony Ferguson, who I said is going to beat Khabib. He's scared. He is fucking scared.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Hookers need love, too.
A friend of mine is about to marry a hooker he met online, paying her 300 pet meat for 2 months. She later moved in. Soon they marry. To troll him, I send him Dahlia Dipolita videos with knife emojis under it. I'm the only one knows he marrying a hooker.
Thank you. Thank you for that information.
I like the ADD donations tonight. It's fantastic. We're all over the place. If you want to make the MMA-Whore talk, well, there's a link in the description. You can play any dopey song. And by the way, the Chris Cyborg shopping cart donation was played tonight. So shout out. Was it the Darkest Project? Who was that?
Darkest Timeline.
Darkest Timeline. Thank you so much for that donation. Let's let them fly tonight. Super chat's open as well. Let's keep the show going and flowing. Let's let the chat vote, okay? Let's let the chat vote right now. Who is next for Khabib? Give me an answer. Is it going to be Tony? Is Ali wrong? Is it Conor? Is it Dustin Poirier? Is it GSP? Let me know in the chat what you honestly think. Not what you want. What do you honestly think will happen? And I'm going to say Conor. I'm going to go Conor myself. Jesse, what you say?
I definitely think Dana White's going to try and put Conor together.
Yeah, I mean, money, right? All right, let's see what the chat room says.
Tony says Herbine, Conor, Fergie. Voting is the best part of this show. Brian, I am planning on that. Tony, Dustin Poirier, Mayweather. When Conor fixes his stamina problem, no one will be able to stop him. I want to lick Jesse. No, thank you. Tony, Conor, Tony, Conor, Dana White, Tony. It's unfortunately will be Conor. GSP is a bitch. He's Canadian. I want Tony. Who do you think, pal? McGregor must give his life for the MMA-Holes. Artem will avenge him. Money Mayweather. Money talks. Conor. If he wants people to actually think he's great, he fights Tony, then fights Woodley. But the UFC still has a big $1 billion in debt, so Conor will get the nod. Tony
Hold on
Ferguson
1 second.
versus Conor.
That's a good point over there. If Khabib beats Tony Ferguson, he is the best. He is the greatest. Put him up top. Make him the pound-for-pound GOAT. Right? And then if somehow he goes up to 170 and somehow gets that belt too, I mean, there's not even a question, right? Yeah. I don't know if he's ever going to go up to 170. I like the fact that he stays at 155 and retires here and just runs through everyone undefeated. I mean, it would be a beautiful thing, a GSP-esque type thing, but better. You know, This guy's a dominating fighter, Khabib. I just want to see this happen because I think it's the right thing for Khabib's path, you know? It's dangerous. Yeah. I understand why he would go for the money. I get it. But as a selfish fan, I want this.
You can't stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Vlad.
This all plays out well on Tony's end. He can now push the idea that Khabib is ducking him and scared.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's what the company wants. They spend $4 billion on a company. They're going to want to make their money back as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
That is a very good point. Thank you, Vlad, for the donation coming in. Patron Vlad is wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
Now the next question is this. I mean, I could talk about this all fucking night. Pulse.
You can't stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
2019 Pulse Reloaded.
The fight was legitimate. Floyd beat my yellow cheeks like I had stolen something. He wore me out like tire tread. He wore me out like Real's mother gets from Floridian Nickas. Floyd is the best and he could beat Conor in his meat simultaneously with...
All right. We do have a Floyd story, right?
With what?
I don't know. But
we do, but we got a whole bunch of news we got to get through.
We
in the
do.
Next
All right.
hour.
One more question, and then we're going to get back into the news. What a night. I mean, it's 2019, TGIW, the first show of the third season over here. It's great to see everyone aboard. On fire. The chat is on fire. The donation's on fire. Thank you so much. My question to you, Jesse, and this goes for the chat as well. Mm-hmm. How does Tony Ferguson, who is a fantastic 155er, brilliant on the ground, brilliant on the feet. Probably the most well-rounded fighter at 155. And he could be the kryptonite to Khabib. How can Tony Ferguson become a money fight? How can he change? Like, is it the UFC's fault? Is it Tony's fault? How can Tony Ferguson become a money fight? Because it's a shame. You know, a lot of people say that the UFC doesn't do the right thing.
I don't think he can.
You don't think he can?
No.
Okay. And hold that thought. We're gonna get to it. But the UFC, people say it's the UFC's fault for a lot of things. They don't push the right fighters. But I think it's a combination of both, right? It's a combination of the UFC and the fighter. It's a perfect mix. You need both sides to play along here. And in this case, it seems like neither side gives a fuck. You know, like Tony tries, but does he really try? I don't know. So you said you don't think that he can be a star or a powerful money fight?
Yeah,
like
I don't know. The only thing that I think can bring more pay-per-view buys and the kind of hype that you would get with Conor Khabib would be the fact that they have tried to put Ferguson and Khabib together 4 times already. This will be the 5th time and now they're saying it's not happening, but say they did, this would be the 5th time they're trying to put together that fight. That alone would be enough of a hype, because if they can actually get that fight to happen, everybody wants to see it. That's really the only draw I can see. I can't see as much of a draw with Ferguson as I could see as I could see Conor bringing Khabib.
But how does Tony become that fighter?
I don't think he does.
David Hammercock, a toilet shitter.
I jammed my pee hole with poop and farted blood.
That doesn't sound healthy.
I'm sorry to hear that, David. I'm very sorry to hear that. Thank you for the donation. Chat room, how does Tony El Kukui Ferguson, how can we make this man a superstar? Is it his fault? Is it the UFC's fault? Let me know, and then we're going to move on to the MMA news.
Return of the Jack says, join the Illuminati. It's Tony's only shot. My brain just exploded, says Anna H. Brian Rogers says, promote Fergie at this first autistic UFC champ in history. Juvenile Johnny says Tony is a great fighter and money in the cage. He's boring out of the octagon. Conor is an entertainer. Tony is a hype beast. Oh, yeah, hype beast, I think I read. I don't know. What the fuck does Mike HXGO says? Tony is the next Bellator champ. He can't compete in the UFC. Sean McKenzie says Dana only pushes those who swallow his cum.
Oh.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Get physical, smash the bus, says Isaiah Moore, and we should move on to the news.
All right.
Because we have a lot, and we only have an hour left.
No rush here. We're on fire tonight. 2019, Jesse.
Yeah.
Let's talk Jon Jones.
Let's talk Jon Jones.
Wonderful, wonderful.
According to Bloody Elbow, Jon Jones has apologized to the reporter he bashed before UFC 232 at the UFC 232 pre-fight press conference. Jon Jones put an end to not one but 2 rivalries on Saturday night. The newly minted UFC light heavyweight champ, who bested Alexander Gustafsson for the title, directed his attention to Swedish journalist Isabel Kostic when speaking to media after the events of UFC 232. He said, quote, "Sister here with the camera, I was extremely disrespectful to you and I'm sincerely sorry." He addressed Kostic at the 26:30 mark in the video provided by the link on the MMAHoles.com. He continued on to say, "I was ready to fight and I felt maybe a little of an attack and I was not in the mood to lose. I was just not in the mood to lose, not even a verbal argument. I'm so sorry for disrespecting you." His apology follows the UFC 232 pre-fight press conference on Thursday, December 27th. Kostic questioned Jones about the metabolite Turnaball found in a system that compelled the UFC to move UFC 232 from Las Vegas to Inglewood on 6 days' notice. Her question was, quote, "How come this is the 3rd time we're taking actual focus from the fighters in the fights and talking about what you have in your body?" Next question, a visibly frustrated Jones responded, saying, quote, "Sit down. Someone take the mic from her. Better questions, better journalism. You suck."
Yeah, because he got beat up. I mean, like...
Kostic accepted Jones's apology on Twitter, saying, quote, "I appreciate John Bones' apology tonight. Chose to be the bigger man. Congrats, champ."
You know what? It would have been great if she's like, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy.
She also posted on Twitter saying,
Me too.
Last post was obviously about Johnny Bones and not John Bones. My bad. Because she tagged the wrong John Bones.
All right. There's a bunch of things that come out. Now, if you haven't seen it, I don't know what you're doing with yourself. So UFC 232 went down, right? Jon Jones defeats Alexander Gustafsson. Not surprised. He does it in the 3rd round. The first 2 rounds, I got to say, Gus looked good. He looked very good in those 2 rounds. Johnny Bones got his rhythm going, takes Gus down, and pounds his face into the mat. Right stoppage and the right fight. I am not shocked in any way. We're going to get to Cyborg Nunez. Do we have a story on those two, or should...
Yes, I believe so.
You do? Okay, so we'll talk about that in a second. But Jon Jones, man, a lot of things about this guy, okay? And I think the next story should be this whole drug thing, because we need to wrap a bow on this and get really your opinions. But, like, I'm torn. I'm really torn. The guy is so fucking good. You got this whole steroid thing. And I watched on, what was it? On Fight Pass. What was it that we watched?
Yeah, there was like an exclusive behind the scenes or during UFC 232 or something like that on UFC Fight Pass.
I don't know what the hell it was called. It was like something. If you have Fight Pass, check it out. It's the last thing they uploaded. Everything was behind the scenes. It was great. It showed from Uriah Hall up the victories, the defeats, behind the scenes in the locker room. And listen, I don't know how many times I could say this, but I don't think Jon is a bad person, right? I honestly don't. I really don't believe that outside of the cage, he's a young guy that likes to party. He has a lot of money. He got that money quick, and he just makes bad decision after bad decision.
Right.
But when it comes to a character,
You can't stop the
donation, Large Chin Vin.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Let's see what Large Chin says.
Tony El Kuki Spick is an exciting fighter. Conor is an anomaly. He has an entire nation behind him, and true star power. No one can sell like that Irish cokehead. But is this the ultimate fighter or ultimate salesman? Must be Tony V. Smelly Doggy.
All right, thank you, Large Chin Vin. Thank you very much. But when it comes to Jon Jones, as a fighter, and as a personality, and as a role model, he's the worst, right? I mean, he's a good fighter, but everything else he does wrong. He sticks his foot in his mouth, and honestly, I think he's just not the smartest guy. You know, he doesn't have that. The common sense is not all there. You know, he makes some bad decisions. I don't think he's a bad person. He surrounds himself with interesting people, and he makes bad decisions, okay? With that being said, all right, I want to like the guy, but I can't. I can't like this guy. And now something comes out. He beats Gustafsson. He still has to be tried, right? What if he gets found guilty again, right? After all this happens.
Well, we go through all that might change your mind.
Right? And we're going to get there. He's guilty again. And then what do we do? What is this, 3 strikes? How many more fucking strikes do we give this guy? The UFC is clearly about money, especially if they make Khabib Conor too. Now you know, like, it's ridiculous. The sport has become a complete circus. If Jon Jones fails again, right, and he's found guilty, what do we do? Like, where's the line? When does this stop? And how is this a professional sport? Jesse, what is the next story?
Is a picogram really a picogram?
All right, so now this is absolutely fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. And shout out to a Real or Real's dog. I'm not sure who tagged us in this, but whichever one did. This is interesting. Very, very interesting. Listen closely, and I really want to know you. Now, I don't want to make this a constant Jon Jones bashing thing. Right. Right? But
this is legitimate fact here.
This is like medical facts here. You can say what you want. A lot of people are debating what is a picogram and when it's fucking split into a million pieces and blah, 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 Olympic-sized swimming pools, yada, yada, yada. Is wrong. Let's listen to this, okay? Right. I want the MMA-Holes to be the jury tonight, okay? Try to have an open mind when you listen to this. Put everything into the equation. And then we're going to come up with a vote on what you think about this whole circus situation. Jesse, what do we got here?
Luke Thomas posted on Twitter today, a cell biologist, I verified his identity, wrote me to say a picogram is not incomprehensibly small. In fact, he argues it's much bigger than we think. Here's his argument. I'm going to read his argument, but really think about this because it makes a lot of sense.
This is on Twitter. Check out at Thomas News, L Thomas News.
Now, this is the cell biologist. So here goes. I am a cell biologist who routinely works with incredibly...
Real quick, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. Remember, now Luke Thomas is the guy that's been dancing around bashing in Jon Jones. Like, he's really, like, tiptoeing around that. He's been on his best behavior, Luke. Ever since Jon Jones, like, I don't really want to talk to you. Luke, you can tell in the back of his mind, all he wants to do is bash the fuck out of this guy.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing him post this out there. He's throwing this out there. He's literally putting the nail in his coffin when it comes to interviewing Jon Jones ever again. I guess he's given up, but all right, back to this.
So here goes. I am a cell biologist who routinely works with incredibly tiny amounts of biological active substances, and I would like to present an alternative description about what quantity a picogram actually represents. Spoiler, it is not an incomprehensibly small amount. Furthermore, using table salt, which is an incredibly dense substance, is not a fair comparison. There is about 6 picograms of DNA in a single human cell. As you probably know, DNA is a linear polymer. If you stretch of this 6 picograms of DNA into a straight line, it would reach about 2 meters. So imagine an athlete tested positive for 60 picograms per milliliter of metabolite. For the sake of visualizing this quantity, imagine that he instead popped for 60 picograms per milliliter of DNA. This would correspond to a quantity of DNA that would stretch 20 meters. But wait, we're not done. This athlete urinated more than 1 milliliter. In fact, a quick Google search reveals that the average human urination is actually about 150 milliliters. This means that the sample our athlete popped for actually contained about 9,000 picograms. Again, if we can visualize this in the context of DNA, this would correspond to a quantity that would stretch about 3,000 meters or almost 2 miles. Perhaps more simply put, 60 picograms or oral turnaball corresponds to over 100 billion individual molecules of oral turnaball per milliliter. Given that this is a breakdown product, we can assume it's likely much more. As a quick disclaimer, these are just back-of-the-envelope calculations. I'm not familiar with the metabolite in question here, but assuming that is more or less average organic compound, we're probably underestimating with the DNA analogy. Additionally, I'm not particularly concerned about Jon Jones's innocence or lack thereof. This is purely meant as an educational exercise. Feel free to share if you would like.
Okay. And the show must go on, right? So the whole picogram thing, pretty much, you can toss that out the window, right? Yes. It's really ridiculous, this whole picogram and this whole Olympic-sized swimming pool. In fact, they threw all this shit together so they can get a fight in UFC 232. The fight gets to happen. Jon Jones defeats Gustafsson. There's a lot of respect between the two, and honestly, I'm glad that there was no drama, any of that bullshit. They move on. Jon Jones is a happy camper. Mm-hmm. I'm done.
Right.
I'm so done. I want to see Jones fight. I'm so done with all the drug talk. I'm so done with all this shit. Can we get a final hearing and then completely move on? And the answer is no. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Jon Jones.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
I ain't no bad Negro. Yes, I was driving drunk, hitting and running prego women. Yes, I cheat on my wife with hookers. Yes, I blow coke and swallow T-ball. Lie about it to everyone, and not to mention a USADA rat. Mose has low standards of good character.
What? You have low standards.
Listen, like I said, I've done shit. Everyone's done shit. So I'm not going to criticize what he does in his personal life. Now, running over a pregnant woman, that whole situation was...
You don't criticize him
it's ridiculous.
Running off with from his wife with hookers?
Well...
You don't criticize that?
Listen, everyone's done fucked up shit, including myself. I've done some pretty fucked up shit in my life. I am no saint in any way. I am no saint. I've made terrible decisions. I look back and I'm like, oh, that was pretty fucking stupid. Yeah. So I am not going to criticize Jon for that. My problem is the guy's dirty and he fights dirty. That sucks to me. That sucks. The guy can be the greatest of all time, right? The guy has all the tools to be the best UFC fighter that we've ever laid our eyes on. But yet, how he carries himself at the press conferences and this goofy laugh and his whole God shtick, I don't buy any of that stuff. I think he's a fun guy to hang out with. He's a fucking lunatic, makes dumb decisions. But the whole steroids thing, listen, rules are rules. You can't, you're a professional athlete, you know? I understand you have to, as a professional athlete, outside of the cage and outside of the sport, you should be the type of person that's a stand-up guy, and you should lead by example. I get that, but when you're young and you have money, you party, and I'm sure I would fall into that trap too if I was him. I'm sure I would have done some pretty stupid fucking things. I really do. I'm being honest, and I'm sure a majority of this chat room probably do the same fucking thing. We've all made mistakes. We've all done fucked up shit, and in no way am I defending Jon Jones.
Sounds like it.
What I'm doing is
Sounds like
saying,
you're defending Jon Jones.
let's separate right now. Let's separate his private life and talk about what's happening within his professional life. And he has drugs in his system. And if you have drugs in your system, why does he get a pass and no one else gets a pass? That's the problem. Let's put aside all the other bullshit. We've talked about it to exhaustion. He has drugs in his system. I want to see him, whatever trial he has to go to, whatever he has to do after this, I want it done. I want him to wrap it up in a bow, and I never want to hear about this again. If it happens again, we're done. We cannot talk about this man anymore. But unfortunately, the way the UFC is, money, money, money. That's all they care about. He could fail 1,000,000 times. It doesn't matter. He's going to keep on coming back. And it's crazy. It's absolutely embarrassing for the sport. Let me know what you think in the chat, and we'll move on. A lot of stories tonight on TGIW. Donation.
You can't stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
It's Vinny Largechin.
Most doesn't criticize Jones for cheating on his wife with hookers. Yikes. Imagine what Most would do around hookers if JBH wasn't around.
That's what I was thinking.
He must think it's okay to cheat on girlfriends with hookers.
Listen.
Come to Mulberry Street and meet a real Italian.
First of all, in fairness, if you pay for sex, you're an embarrassment. So I'm just going to say that right there.
The point
no offense.
was the
yes,
cheating.
But cheating, I've cheated. I've cheated before. I've done it. When I was a kid, I did it. It's happened. It's in the past. I've made mistakes. I'm not going to knock a guy for something that I've done. Now, never done coke, and I've never fucked hookers. I've never fucked hookers. If you want to fuck a hooker, knock yourself out. Never done it before. Never found the need because I am that good looking. I've never had to pay for sex. Unless you count paying for dinner. So there you go. But I'm not going to kill a guy for that. Now, Real likes to have his hookers. It's fine. Go to a club. Buy him a drink. It's a lot cheaper. It's the hell, and you kick him out of bed. You get him an Uber. They go home. It's that simple. It's so simple. But listen, whatever he did in his personal life, that's his thing. It's the matter of fact that he's a cheater. When it comes to mixed martial arts, his professional career, and a sport, he needs to abide by the rules. Chat room?
Paul says she's going to cheat before he does. Isaiah Moore laughing my ass off. Darren Scott, ouch. David Flores says Moss is the boss. Free sex for life.
Yeah, what the fuck? If you pay for sex, listen, you got to do what you got to do, right? Some people are hideous. They need to fucking pay for sex. I mean, it sucks for them. It sucks. I've had friends that had to pay for sex. I've seen them. I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, you're paying her bills, so good for you. They got to get paid too. They're working girls. Everyone needs to find money in different ways. So it's all good. But just never got it. Sean McKenzie.
Can't stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
What did Sean say?
Fuck Jon Jones. He is not the real champion. He is not the GOAT. He piss hot. For the third damn time. I hope he gets anal raped by a cactus and gets his asshole sewn up with a rusty fucking fish hook.
It is tough to put him, GOAT status. We always like to throw people in GOAT status. Thank you, Sean. But when you're dirty, how do you do it? It's easy. Fans forget. And you're as good as your last fight. He beat Alexander Gustafsson. He defeated him. He finished him. And if he goes to his next trial, whatever he's got to do, and everything is wiped away, people are going to forget all his negative actions, and they're going to look at him as the greatest of all time. Hey, maybe he cleans it up. Maybe he can turn it around. I doubt that's the case. All right, Jesse, what else do we have in the news?
According to MMA Fighting, Michael Bisping recalls a profane exchange by Jon Jones off air after UFC 232.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Bisping doesn't think Jon Jones was all that impressed by a question he fielded to him ahead of his light heavyweight title showdown against Alexander Gustafsson at UFC 232. According to the former middleweight champ, Bones cursed him out while he was off air in the midst of recording a segment for UFC's tonight's post-fight show. Discussing the incident on the last episode of Believe You Me podcast, the Count recalled how a question he posed to a controversial champion ahead of the fight regarding the abnormalities that were found in his pre-fight drug test led to Jon Jones cursing him out. Bisping said, "I don't care about asking difficult questions, and I asked Jon Jones some questions, which apparently he didn't like because after the fight, we interviewed him again, and when we were on a commercial break, he was talking fucking shit. To whoever the powers may be at Fox, he said, is that motherfucker Michael Bisping going to be asking questions again with his fucking dumb shit and all this?" And I was like, oh, yeah? Bisping believes what annoyed Jones was a question he asked him concerning what the protocol would be if he failed a post-fight drug test. Bisping said, "Here's what we never spoke about. He tested positive in August, he tested positive in September, and he tested positive in December. Now they're saying that they are metabolites, and they're saying the presence of Turnbull can stay in his body for a long time. So if you put that all together, he's probably going to test positive after the fight." So I said, "John, has there been any discussions as to what happens if you test positive for the fight? Because I'll tell you what, if I'm Alexander Gustafsson and you stopped me in the 3rd round, but motherfucker tests positive, and I don't care how many small pinches of salt it is in an Olympic-sized swimming pool, I want that overturned to a fucking no contest because you've tested positive after the fact."
So, yeah, Michael Bisping, listen, this fucking guy, the antagonizer, he's stirring the pot. I can understand why. If it was anyone else, I would be like, all right, how about Chael Sonnen, right? Another one, an antagonizer. He really didn't say shit, right? Chael Sonnen didn't say anything. I don't know how many people saw that where on ESPN where Ariel and Chael were interviewing Jon Jones, and Jon just wanted to talk to Ariel because Ariel does his research, and Chael, is Chael, and he blew him off. I don't like when Jones handles shit that way, like a big baby. When Jon is just being interviewed and is like, "I don't want to talk to you. I just want to talk to you because you suck my asshole and you don't suck my asshole, so I'm not going to talk to you." I feel if you're a professional athlete, you can speak your mind to a reporter or someone you don't like. You can say something to them, but let them ask the question. Don't be a pussy. And that's another thing that bothers me about Jon Jones.
You can't stop this like being
John got his lawyer.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
See what Jon's lawyer says.
Most never paid for sex. How much did your wedding plus divorce cost you? Plus your monthly payments to your ex-wife. Wiser to pay $300 and kick her out. Cheaper and more efficient. But if you have GF, it's wrong to cheat. Shame on Jones and his hookers.
I don't pay her monthly. I don't have kids, so.
Yeah, I feel like that's the only reason you would pay someone monthly.
Yeah, well, listen, when you pay for hookers, sometimes your mind is not clear. It's all those STDs that get through your head. They seep into your bloodstream. But shout out to that donation. All right, thank you, John Gotti. So let's talk about this over here. Michael Bisping having problems with Jon Jones. What are you going to do? The biggest problem with Johnny Bones is you got to face the reporters, right? You just got to talk to these people. If you don't like them, tell them you don't like them, but let them ask the questions, right? I mean, being in media, I understand we can be cunts. We can ask cunty questions. We can get under your skin. But don't be like, I don't want to answer your questions. We're the reason. The reporters are the reason. The media is the reason. The fans are the reason that you fight. If there was none of us, if there was none of you, if no one watched the fights, you wouldn't be fighting. So you're allowed to not like people. Just tell them, ask your fucking question. All right. Give them a stupid answer and move on. If they ask a stupid question, you give them a stupid answer. What Jon does is he's like, I don't want that question. He walked away from me. I joked around about DC. He walked away. I don't get it. We're the reason why you're fighting. You know? We're the reason. It doesn't make any sense. What do you think about that?
No, I agree. I do think that everyone who's not in the cage is a reason they're fighting, but I also think that these fighters have learned to not give a fuck because they have to make money somehow. So, they do it anyways.
And that is just another thing you could add to the list. I've said it before. See, this is the problem. I can play both sides. I understand that Jon's friends know that he's a good guy in real life and they like him. He's a close friend. We know friends of Jon that have backed this up, right? I probably would hang out with the dude. The guy's a loony. I probably would hang out with him. He'd probably be a fun time, Watch him fucking fall off the rails.
Are you out of your mind?
I would hang out with Jon Jones, of course.
Why would you hang out with Jon Jones?
If you got a call, let me ask you a question. Well, I used to party. So if I got a call and it's like, yo, Jon's hanging out. You want to hang out with him? First of all, I would hang out with him and ask him all the questions. I'd be like, tell me all the stories.
You would hang out. You're the kind of guy who would hang out with him and then do everything that he's done.
I've hung out with horrible people. You've hung out with horrible people. You've wound up in horrible situations. before,
I
correct?
can't say I've ever wound up in situations like he has.
Have you done
though.
drugs?
Yeah, but on my own accord.
Okay. Have you had reckless sex?
No.
No.
It was always safe.
Okay.
Always.
All right. So you've made reckless decisions, correct?
I've had a few reckless decisions, but
Okay.
they were on my own accord. They were never because of someone else.
Okay. So if you got a phone call, right? Say if we're sitting back, we're watching a movie, and all of a sudden we get a phone call from someone, right? I'm not going to mention any names. So we get a phone call, and they're like, yo, Jon Jones and his entourage, they're in the city. They're popping bottles. He's like, fuck it, come by. Let's hang out and party.
I would not party with him.
I would fucking party with him, of course. I would party with him. If we get free booze. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. And I guarantee majority of the chat would be like, fuck it, I'd hang out with the guy. Here's the thing. You don't know a person, and honestly, do we know Jon Jones as a person?
Exactly. You don't know him. Why would you hang out with
well,
them?
I mean, when you meet people, right, and they, hey, you want to have a couple of drinks? We've done it before. We've hung out with complete strangers before, right? It's not like he's going to be like, hey, I'll pick you up in my car where I'm going to run over a couple of pregnant people. No. You're going to get in a stretch limo. You're going to go to the fucking bottle service. You're going to be sitting there. He's going to be paying for all the booze. He's going to do a blow off of hookers. Come on.
Kevin is suggesting you're gay for Jon Jones.
No, I would hang out with, all right, let me ask you in the chat, and be honest, because this is a real community over here. You in the chat, would you hang out? If Jon Jones, if you got the call, and Jon Jones' entourage is like, yo, Jon wants to hang out with you. We're going to go party. Let me know. I've partied with Tommy Lee, for God's sakes. That man is a fucking knucklehead, Tommy Lee. Porno making, drug doing. I fucking drank his booze. Fucking hung out with him. I mean, I was like, fuck yeah. When my buddy was like, yo, you want to hang out with Tommy Lee? I was like, yeah. Of course I want to hang out. Why wouldn't I want to hang out with Tommy Lee? It doesn't make any sense. Of course you would hang out with him. Let me know. Yes or no? Kenshiro with a yes. Let me know in the chat. Would you hang out with
nah,
Jon
fuck no. Probably
Jones?
yes. LOL. I'd bang hookers with JJ. Yup. Don't let him drive.
Yeah. Don't let him get behind the wheel. Whatever you do.
If he was drunk, no. Don't want to get arrested. If I could, I'd talk to Hitler, Stalin, Jon Jones. Drunk, gay, Tommy Lee, Sex, and Moss. Hep A, Hep B, Hep C. No.
I'm not gonna fuck Jon Jones.
And Sam Blast. No. No.
I'm not having sex.
You're suggesting Jon Jones would convince you to have sex with hookers.
Yeah. I'm not having sex with Jones. But
no,
if the price is right now.
That's how you would get Hep B, Hep A, Hep C.
Yeah. Listen. And I've been in crazy situations where buddies of mine or people we were hanging out with wanted to go the extra mile, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm good, because I'm not stupid.
I don't believe it.
No, I swear to God.
I don't believe it.
No hookers and fucking.
Yeah,
crazy.
I don't believe it.
You think I banged a hooker?
Yeah, I think you would have banged a hooker. I think you would bang
What?
anything with a pair of lips and a hole between its legs.
Let me tell you a story. Okay, I've had hookers in the room. I had hookers in the room, ready to go with my buddies, ready to go. We were like, okay, you go to this room, you go to that room, and I denied. I did not do it. I am not down with that. You don't believe me?
Nah. No.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I
tell you the truth about, honestly, I would tell you the truth about anything. I have zero filter. Why would I lie about that? If I fucked a hooker, I'd be like, yeah, I fucked a hooker. First of all, you've never seen me in a strip club. You've never seen me in a strip club. When I go to a strip club, I don't like them. I hate strip clubs.
No, I know you don't like strip clubs. Yeah.
Why would I fuck a hooker if I hate a strip club?
Because they're not just dancing. Like, these are women who are just giving a man free sex, and men are horny.
It's not
people.
the case. I am a sensual person. In order for me to get my peen hard, I need to know that the other person is into it. And a hooker is doing it for money. So my dick will not get hard for a hooker. It would never happen. I'm telling you. I'm telling you right there. I don't need it. I am a narcissistic person. I'm a very prideful person.
Yeah.
When I would go out to a bar or a club or hang out and do bottle service and all that thing, it was all about that catch and release shit. I would have to pull the girl, bring him back to the room, party time. Like, that's how I was. If I found out someone was a hooker, hey, do your job with someone else. I'm not down with that. That's how I was. But I had this pride thing. I had this macho, machismo ego that when I would go out, I would have to go out and try to pull people, like random people, you know, a nice pretty girl over there. Hey, you look nice. Come back to my place. That's simple. That's simple. That's how I was.
I don't need to know anymore.
But hookers, listen, first of all, we're getting off the topic, for God's sake. Nasty bathroom sex. Whatever Jon Jones does on his personal time, that's fine. You know, let him do whatever the fuck, any mistakes he wants to make. It all comes down to the UFC. That's what it comes down to, Jesse.
Lad says, I wouldn't fuck that hot hooker, said no man ever.
I wouldn't. I've been there. Adolf Hitler. I have friends that back it up, too.
Hey y'all, I'm still alive. I live next door to Elvis. Believe this and you'll also believe most never had a hooker.
Listen, you know what? I tell you what, how about this? I would get a polygraph test on the show.
What if a hooker would fuck you for free?
No, I wouldn't do it. No.
And that means she's genuinely interested.
So here's the deal. Now, I could have been with someone, right, that I didn't know. Like you don't do background checks. So if you're with some fucking crazy trampy girl that you meet in a bar, you never know where they've been, right? So
no, you don't.
So that's the thing. Maybe that could have been the case, but I've never paid for sex. Let me just put it to you that way. I've never done it.
Have you bought a girl drinks?
Yeah, I mean,
and then taken her back to your hotel.
That's not a hooker. That's not her living.
You technically paid to get laid.
Now, I've even done this. Listen to this shit. And this is so irrelevant to the show, but I'll say it anyway. Bottle rats. We joke around. Like, if you get bottle service, and guys that have done this, guys that have gone to clubs, if you're going with a group of guys, you got to get a table. You got to get a bottle. That's how it works. Or they won't let you a bunch of sausages in. You get a table, and as soon as you get that table with the bottle, no matter where you're sitting, if you're in a nice spot, there are skanky bottle rats that all they want to do is drink your booze. That's all they want to do. And they're just like, oh, you're so cute. Can I have this and that? I've told girls to get the fuck out. Hot girls. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You're rats. Ask V-neck. I've kicked him out. He's like, you're kicking girls out.
All right.
I've kicked him out because I don't let girls mooch off of me. It's all about love and being sensual, Jesse.
All right. According to MMA Junkie, the UFC declines to renew a contract of longtime commentator Jimmy Smith.
All right. Jimmy Smith. By the way, I found this out before we went live. Okay. As we got sidetracked tonight on the MMA-Holes, but it's the MMA-Holes. Who gives a fuck? Jimmy Smith gets fired once again. Oh, my God. What's this about?
Jimmy Smith's UFC tenure is coming to an end. The longtime commentator announced today on Twitter that the promotion declined to renew his contract, making him a free agent just 1 year after signing with the industry leader.
Ah, super chat.
Harvey Weinstein.
Don't downplay hookers, but just make sure you get it.
Harvey Weinstein with a little bit of advice. Thank you, Harvey, for the wonderful, wonderful advice.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Jimmy Smith posted on Twitter, now that the new year has arrived.
By the way, it is hysterical. The chat thinks I'm lying. Dude, it is so fucking funny. It is so great. It actually makes me feel a little bit good because I've been through this. Like, I've had these stories, and that is all the past. I don't do any of that shit anymore. I'm the worst now. Ask JVH. It's about watching TV, watch movies.
Being on your phone.
Yeah, working. It sucks. My life sucks now. It's not fun anymore. But, yeah, it is what it is. At least I have my stories. All right, talk about Jimmy Smith.
Jimmy Smith posted on Twitter, now that the new year has arrived, I'm afraid I have to announce that the UFC has declined to re-sign me and my time with the promotion has come to an end. I just want to thank everyone at the promotion who made me feel welcome and appreciated at every single show. Smith thanks...
Ah, super chat.
We got a Kevin from Chicago fund.
Jones is a boss. He would rat you out to the cops.
Well, all right, so that's another thing. He is a rat. That is true. He also hid under the mat and did all that stuff. So, yeah, he is a rat. I'll give you that one. Back to Jimmy Smith.
Smith thanked UFC staff and fighters as well as those who watched his work. Reached for a comment by MMA Junkie. Smith said he doesn't have any immediate plans for his future, but he hopes to get back to work soon as a commentator. He added his UFC departure came amid a shift in strategy to hire only UFC fighters as commentators.
Jimmy Smith. Man, this guy can't hold down a job. He's like Jennifer Aniston with a relationship. They just can't fucking hold people down. What is up with him? What's up with Jimmy Smith?
I don't know.
There was a who was saying this? Actually, Luke Thomas was saying it. How the UFC is looking to just turn to straight up fighters, and you know, if the UFC is doing that, Colby, the darkest timeline, filthy. Let's see a Colby or the darkest timeline has to say.
Hey, Darkest Projects here. There is no way in hell I would hang with Jones. He is too unpredictable. He would probably have a Scarface mountain of coke in the back. And with my luck, we would get raided by the cops, and I'm the only one who gets arrested.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Well, like the story that when they did the hit and run and he took one for the team, and I don't know. You never know. You never know. So, all right. Doesn't want to put yourself in a bad situation. Don't blame you. At this point in my life, I don't want to do anything bad anymore. So I hear you. Back to Jimmy Smith. Jesse, do you feel bad for this guy? I mean,
a little bit, yeah. I think it kind of sucks. Nobody wants to not have their contract renewed. So
he's like, yeah, come here for 1 year. You can leave. Let me know in the chat. Do you give a fuck? Yes or no? I think he goes to ESPN and does. I hope he can. I mean, geez, you never want anyone to lose their job, but God, he doesn't. All right, let's get to this story over here. A lot of people are foaming at the mouth. Something that happened on New Year's Eve.
According to MMA Fighting, Tenshin Nasukawa has no regrets from the Floyd Mayweather exhibition. Tenshin Nasukawa's one-sided first-round defeat to Floyd Mayweather Jr. was the talk of the MMA world on New Year's Eve, but the kickboxing ace has vowed that the loss will only make him better in the long run. The Japanese kickboxing sensation hit the deck 3 times in the first three-minute rounds before his corner threw in the towel to end the Risen 14 boxing exhibition on New Year's Eve in Saitama, Japan. While some felt as though the 2-minute showing underlined the disparity between Mayweather's boxing skill set and that of 20-year-old Tenshin, other notable names, including Rory McDonald, have expressed their belief that the exhibition was fake. The day after the one-sided loss, Nasukawa took to Instagram to outline the reasons he took the fight, why he doesn't regret agreeing to the contest, how he will improve on the back of the defeat, and how he hopes the fans will still support him despite the first-round loss. On Instagram, he posted this. I have worked hard with a big dream in the combat world. Karate, kickboxing, MMA, and boxing. When I first got the offer, I took it in a flash. I thought this was an opportunity of a lifetime, and although there were significant differences in accomplishments and weight classes, I felt that I must not run and take on the challenge. The days since the fight was confirmed have been enjoyable, but with concerns, and I spent the time thinking about many things. At the end of the day, I got finished.
You can't stop us
Bill Clinton.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Bill Clinton jumping in.
I was the president. Even I paid for sex. I even raped a few whores and got away with it. Don't lie to JBH acting like you're above paying for sex. You didn't buy those whores drinks because you loved them. JBH, notice his face is red.
Actually, I did love them. I love them all. I love ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And ladies love me. All right. Thank you. Real.
He continued on to say the days since the fight was confirmed have been enjoyable but with concerns, and I spent the time thinking about many things. At the end of the day, I got finished, but I have no regrets. I am disappointed at myself since I thought I could have done better, but I will face the facts and will continue on to take on any challenge. I learned that I didn't work hard enough to earn this opportunity, and I will use this defeat to improve myself and move forward this year. Despite all the things that happened leading up to the fight, I came to realize how truly great Mayweather was. I was the one underestimating him. I promise to make it to that level. It may take some time for me to become the man to haul the industry on my shoulders, but please continue to support me. Everybody who works to make this fight happen, thank you so much, or thank you very much. Mr. Mayweather, thank you very much.
There we go. Tension. Now, the question is, was this a fake fight or a real fight? $9 million, 10 minutes, and he gets knocked down 3 times, uppercut. Crying, all of these theatrics. Mayweather was dancing after he knocked him down, which was pretty fucking funny. That was really funny. But Rory McDonald said on social media that this was completely fake. A lot of people are saying this is fake. I don't know if it was fake, but it was an exhibition fight, so no one should even give a shit. It was a quick payday for both fighters, so they both got paid. We move on, and I guess we're spending a little bit more time than we should on this. But let me know in the chat, was it fake? Yes or no? While you get your votes in, a quick word from our sponsor.
Don't miss out on betting the best moments in sports with BetDSI.com. We'll double your money with a 100% bonus on your first deposit. Bet at home, bet on your phone, and bet live during your favorite game.
DSI. Check it out. Link in the description. Promo code MMAHOLE. That's right. BetDSI. Check it out. Link in the description if you want to make some money Well, we know how to do it. We had a lot of flukes go over there and make some cash, so maybe you could be the next one to win some cash. There is an online casino, and you can also bet on each and every sport. That's right, BetDSI. If you go over to their website and you log in, promo code MMAHOLE, there is every sport on this thing over here. You got football, you got basketball, you got golf, you got hockey, you have MMA, boxing, you got tennis, you could bet on everything. You could bet on snails crossing the fucking street. Yep, and there's an online casino, so check it out, BetDSI. They are wonderful, wonderful. Chat room, what do you say? Was it fake or real?
Opened a BetDSI account yesterday, says Brian Verger. Herbean says, I don't give a fuck if it was fake or not. Mike Gage says it was a shit show. King Your Mother's Ring says, I missed it. Stalio 2 says, sometimes people look into it too hard. Colvick prepared to see Asians at Mayweather branding boxing matches. Soma, I missed the rest of her message. Stalio 2 says, I wouldn't trust anything I say. Pulse Reloaded, McGregor, Aldo was fake though. Kainoda 74 says, fake as Newell's left gloves. Sean McKenzie, fake. MMA Gambling says, watch Robin Black, Michael Bisping, and Brendan Schaub's reaction. I'm pretty sure it's fake, LOL. Duke Chronic says, can you bet on fake fights? Trisket Age, 3 knockdowns, but his legs never buckled or got wobbly. Doc Dreamer says, fake. X Ghost 22, Jones, faggot, lying, drug-using sack of shit. Tucker Baker says, never trust zipper heads. Eric Solano's dropping the sunglasses in the chat. MMA Gambling says, only person who thought it was real was Mike Perry's stupid ass. Mark Jackson says, it was as real as Cyborg's face.
Oh, yes. Well, by the way, let's get to a Cyborg story. What do we have else?
I just checked. I don't have any Cyborg stories.
All right, so let's just talk about this fight over here. All right, and how the hell are we not talking about Chris Cyborg? There's also a big fight coming next weekend. We'll be covering that as well. UFC 232 happened. We have a donation.
Stop disagreeing, Express.
Things that are fake.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Let's see what things that are fake donated.
Jones being a clean athlete. Cody having a chin. Tito having a high IQ. Dana White telling the truth. Ali not being a rat. Most never paying for sex. Trump losing to Clinton. Woodley loving white folks. Don Lemon sucking black cock. Lemon lives white D.
Well, there's one thing over there that's completely false. So, yeah, that sucks. You got to do some fact checking. Chris Cyborg versus Amanda Nunes happened this weekend. Co-main event, and they stole the show. Well, Amanda Nunes stole the show. Chris Cyborg got sucked into a war between these two. I think she comes off looking great, though. Even though she went down and she got buckled a bunch of times and Nunes destroyed her, how she handled the loss is something that's very important to a fighter's legacy. Ronda Rousey did it wrong. Cyborg did it right. She was fantastic. Very respectful. She was laughing. She was joking. She was even taking selfies with fans in the crowd as she was walking out. So Chris Cyborg, in my mind, is one of my favorites. As much as we horse around, as much as we have the shopping cart donation, she is what you want as a champion or as a role model or as a fighter. Chris Cyborg is fantastic. Now, Amanda Nunes is the double champ, and man, what a beast. What an absolute beast. You look at the total strikes, 26-6, significant 26-6. But one thing you could take out of this fight is her accuracy and her speed at 145, lethal. Now, Cyborg made a lot of mistakes, and her mom was blasting her after the fight. She said her mom called her up and said, Cyborg, what are you doing with the fight? And Cyborg was like, I don't know, mama. I just got caught up in slugfest. And her mom says, well, I don't think it's right of you for doing that. You did it all wrong. They actually talk exactly the same, Jesse. I bet you didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Wonderful, wonderful.
That was the actually, we just played the recording of the conversation. It's funny, man. She was joking around about it. I think if there is a rematch, I feel that Cyborg will be a lot smarter in the rematch. Will she get the win? Well, that's to be determined. The question is this. Does Chris Cyborg get the rematch? That is the question. I say yes. I say it's inevitable. But there are a lot of people saying, nope, not happening. Even Dana White said it's not happening. I don't buy it. It makes total sense that it happens. I understand it was in the first round. It was quick. But this is Chris motherfucking Cyborg. Right? This is Chris Cyborg. Beast of a fighter. Give the girl a rematch. Now, Jesse, what do you say?
I definitely think Cyborg deserves a rematch. 100%.
All right. Chat real quick. Yes or no? Does Chris Cyborg deserve a rematch? If you're not subscribed to the MMA Holes, do it immediately. 16,735, 150 people watching and hanging with the boys.
Hanging with the boys.
Pulse Reloaded says yes, no one else in the division. Isaiah Moore says they will. Drunk Savage, if Conor gets a rematch, then Cyborg should get one. Henry Sosa says, I want to see Macy Barber. King Your Mother's Ring says no. Colvick, yes. Duran Scott, yes, but no. Too many chinks thrown around in the chat tonight, says Stalio 2. No rematch, says Niall Flanagan. Hell yes, says Sean McKenzie. Exco says Moss is lying. Cyborg doesn't have a mom. She was hatched.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Scott Vehar says, I want to see Jesse's muscles. Jake Rupp says, what you call a Mexican that lost his car? Carlos.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Mike H says yes. Trisket H says it's the only fight that makes sense at 145, but Cyborg doesn't have a contract anymore. Mark Jackson says her mom is Gabby Garcia.
Listen, we got another story. Brazil Fabricio Verdum is done. What is this about, Jesse?
According to MMA Mania, how do you say peace out in Portuguese? Former UFC heavyweight champ Fabricio Verdum is not done competing in mixed martial arts. He is, however, washing his hands of the UFC in the twilight of his career. That's according to his manager, Ali Abdelaziz. Abdelaziz told MMA Fighting, quote, I think Fabricio's done. You'll never see him in the UFC again. They need to do what they need to do, but at the end of the day, Fabricio has to do whatever he needs to do for his family. After his suspension ends and he comes back, he'll be 43. What is he going to do? If they open a senior league, we'll wait. I think Fabricio will be fighting in Russia next, to be honest with you. I need the UFC's blessing for this. I want their blessing. Maybe he can resurrect this failed campaign. Verdum is 23-8-1 and is currently serving a disciplinary suspension from the United States Anti-Doping Agency, USADA, handed down back in September. For Verdum tested positive for the anabolic steroid trenbolone and its metabolite epitrenbolone last April, booting the Brazilian from his Alexei Olenek fight in Moscow, Russia. Goodbye, UFC. Hello, Akhmat Fight Club.
Verdum done. Well, listen, he's getting up in age, had some controversial suspensions and this and that. He was fun. He was fun to watch. Adios. I'm good. I'm good with it, you know. Don't let the boomerang hit you with a good Lord split you. All right, what else do we have in the news, Jesse?
According to the Bleacher Report, Jon Jones plans for 3 fights in 2019 to leave zero doubt of his dominance. Fresh off winning the UFC light heavyweight title on Saturday at UFC 232, Jon Jones has ambitious goals for the new year. In a post on Instagram, Jon Jones vowed to fight 3 times in 2019 to leave zero doubts of his dominance as a mixed martial artist and champion. As the caption of his post, he said, quote, I'm going to do this because that's what my passion dictates, but it's also what you fans deserve. You've been down with me through thick and thin, and 2019 is going to be incredible. It's all due to the fact I know what matters and why. So to those fighters in my division, go ahead and line up because you're all getting it. The king has returned and no one is sleeping easy, but me, now that I'm back. Same crown, same reign, new faces, more pain. That's what I'm bringing in 19. Jones is 31, has fought only once per year dating back to 2014, and we all know about his probation and suspensions.
Look at that. Jon Jones, 3 fights in 2019 to leave zero doubt. Yeah, listen, if he's clean and 3 fights, he gets it done, well, you can't argue it.
Right.
It's impossible. It's an impossibility. All right, the MMAHoles.com is the place to check out. The MMAHoles.com. Now, check it out real quick. We have a merch section over here. We were speaking about it before, having a little difficulties, but now we are up and running strong. It is our greatest merchandise of ever. We have mugs, hats. We got everything you can possibly think of over here on the MMAHoles.com. And if you want to customize it, you can do it as well. You can customize your shite. So if you want to rock, if you want to be
wonderful, wonderful,
check out the MMAHoles.com. We literally have everything over there, and make sure you tag us. By the way, there is a promotion, only like 8 or 9 days left in this promotion, and you can get 15% off the whole entire store. How many days we got left on this thing? 8 days left. You do not have much time, so make sure you get that discount and get your baby gear. Your fucking, you could barbecue with a nice little apron, a mug, a cap, anything you would like over there. Check it out on the MMAHoles.com. Jesse, what else do we have in the news?
According to Bloody Elbow, Corey Anderson makes his case for a shot at Jon Jones, and Jones fires back.
Interesting.
UFC light heavyweight Corey Anderson is in the best position of his career. The former TUF winner picked up a huge victory over Ilir Latifi at UFC 232, his third win in a row over ranked competition. The rankings haven't been updated since the event yet, but over time will likely be in the top 5 for the first time when they do. And he wants a shot at new champion Jon Jones. Anderson laid out his case in a long tweet comparing his current spot to where the other top-ranked fighters are currently sitting.
By the way, real quick, Sean McKenzie, yeah, listen, we have done a lot of research on this. BetDSI has been around for 20 years, Sean. 20 years they've been around. They're one of the most reputable gambling sites out there, and that's why we are supporting them. Trust me on this. Everything with BetDSI is completely legit, so check it out over there. If you don't feel comfortable, that's cool, but it is legit. That's the only reason why we're doing this over here. We're not going to do some fugazi. They've been around forever. All right, good.
Corey Anderson posted on Twitter a picture of his reasons saying, quote, if Glover beats Corey, it'll put him in line for a title shot. I beat him. A win at UFC 232 for Ilir could argue he's next to fight for the title. I beat him. Anthony Smith has beat Shogun Rua, Rashad Evans, and came up from 185 pounds in his only top 10 for Volkan O. Gus just fought. Jan Blachowicz has only beat one top 10 guy. I ate him alive. I mauled Pat Cummins when he was in the top 10. I've got 13 fights in the 205 division. Yes, I've got losses, but I've been battling all ranked opponents since my third fight in the UFC. Who else is on a 3-fight win streak in 2018 against all top 10 guys? Only one of my losses was a non-top 10 guy, Gian Vellante, my 5th fight ever in 2014. And we all know they cheated on me on the fight against Shogun. Granted, it was one of the worst performances. I don't finish, but I dominate and I win. Smith doesn't deserve or want that fight. He's just trying to talk his way into a payday. He was a punching bag against Volkan till I got tired. I want the challenge. I want that belt. I want that fight. I want that strap. Corey Anderson tagged Jon Jones in this on Twitter and said, Jon Jones, F what the people talking about. I'm your Huckleberry. Everybody else is booked and Smith hasn't earned his stripes.
If Corey Anderson, who surprised me multiple times, if Mr. Nipples can beat Jon Jones, I mean, I don't know what to think anymore.
Well, Jon Jones did respond to this tweet. It didn't take long for him to respond when he said, you sure you want this smoke, Corey Anderson? And Corey Anderson responded, all the smoke.
Listen, I've doubted Corey Anderson before. So, yeah, I mean, I guess nothing can surprise me, right? But I don't see Corey Anderson beating Jon Jones. I don't see how that's physically possible. In any way. I don't. Corey's tough. He could smuggle you. He's got pop in his hands. But no, I don't know. I don't really know if I want to see the fight, to be honest. But if Corey Anderson could be the kryptonite to Jon Jones, well, let it happen. What do you think about that fight?
I'm not too enthused about it, but like you said, if he can, I mean, no, Jon Jones is undefeated. So.
Could you imagine Corey Anderson just is the champion? Like,
anything's possible.
It would be the most bizarre thing, and he's a nice guy, so it'd be cool to watch. But yeah. I don't see it happening. Let us know in the chat what you think. What else do we have in the news, JBH?
All right, according to BJPenn.com, Alexander Gustafsson is considering a move to heavyweight following the UFC 232.
All right, I like to see this. A big dude.
In the wake of his loss to Jon Jones, Alexander Gustafsson is now considering a move to the perilous UFC heavyweight division for a fresh start. Gustafsson discusses this possibility at the UFC 232 post-fight press conference, saying, quote, yeah, of course, the heavyweight division is also an alternative. I'm here to fight, either if it's a light heavy or a heavy. I have to talk to my coaches and see what's next. Whatever the case, Gustafsson argues he has not yet reached the end of the road. He says he'll continue fighting for now and that he'll stop when he no longer finds the experience fun. He said, quote, let's see what's next. Like always, you do this for a reason, and it's to compete with the best guys out there. And that's what I'll do. I will do it as long as I think it's fun. It meant everything to me to beat Jon Jones, he added. This is not football or tennis. When we're practicing, it's pure fighting, and every fight is life-changing for you. It's a big setback for me to lose to Jon again, but at the end of the day, it's a sport, and we do this because we love it.
Yeah, I'd be interested. I think we've seen, listen, Gus, he's a gatekeeper. He always gets there and he kind of fumbles. Gus, move up. You're a big dude. Who knows? Maybe with a little extra weight on you, you're fast. You know, you still got that size at heavyweight. It'd be interesting to watch. Why not? Yeah. Luke Rockhold's moving up. Let's see Gus move up. I'm down with that. Let me know in the chat if you'd like to see that.
I'm down with it.
I'm down with the heavyweight. Gus.
All right, according to BJPenn.com, Dana White shuts down Nick Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal fight.
Shut it down. Shocker, right? Real shock. Jesus Christ.
Several weeks ago, Dana White told ESPN that a welterweight bout between fan favorites Nick Diaz and Jorge Masvidal had been added to UFC 235 on March 2nd. Unsurprisingly, this matchup generated quite a bit of excitement among fans. Unfortunately, it now sounds as though its announcement was premature.
It's Niall Flanagan.
Nunes stole the show. Happy New Year to JBH. Most in the hashtag MMA-Holes beer mugs.
Happy New Year, Niall Flanagan.
Here's a mug.
Or a cumin.
Cheers. Cheers to Niall Flanagan and everyone that's supported us tonight. Thank you for the donations. Very generous of all of you. Wonderful, wonderful people.
Wonderful, wonderful.
A little cold coffee over there. Getting it going. We got a couple more stories, then we're going to wind this thing down. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the first Wednesday show of the year, Season 3, Episode 1. Happy New Year, 2019. And it's starting off with a bang. And a lot of peeps watching tonight. So thank you for sticking around late into the evening. Nick Diaz.
Unfortunately, it now sounds as though the announcement was premature. Since the fight was first reported, Nick Diaz has repeatedly refuted its legitimacy, saying, quote, or Diaz said, quote, I think it's rude of the UFC to try and lowball me and expect me to negotiate a deal while I'm training for a fight. It's not going to go down like that. If anybody wants to fight me, then they know where to find me. I'm not a hard guy to find. Come get some. I have a lot going on trying to manage a few different businesses. Once things make sense for everybody in that they actually have some fighters that they respect and I respect, we can try and come to a deal and do a show. That's how I feel. Speaking at the UFC 232 post-fight press conference, UFC President Dana White finally confirmed that despite announcing the matchup to ESPN, this Nick Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal fight is most likely not happening, at least not at UFC 235 as planned. White said, I think it's pretty clear. All you've got to do is look at Diaz's Instagram. I don't think it looks like he's training for a fight. Nick Diaz has not fought since January of 2015 when he battled middleweight legend Anderson Silva to a unanimous decision loss. Shortly after this fight, the bout was ruled a no contest when Silva tested positive for drostanolone and Diaz tested positive for marijuana metabolites.
When was the last time Masvidal fought? When was the last time? Was it the Wonder Boy fight? I can't even remember anymore. When was the last time he fought? It seems like forever ago. And Nick Diaz, enough. I mean, enough. Enough with the Diaz brothers. I'm so done with them. It's just fucking annoying now. You know?
I agree.
All right, what else do we have in the news? JBH.
One more story.
Colby! All you filthy animals suck!
All you filthy animals suck! All you filthy animals suck! All you filthy animals suck!
All right, what's Colby have to say?
Optimistic Mos and JBH starting the stream late but still giving us a 2-hour show. The both of you are wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
You're wonderful, wonderful, Vlad.
Thank you, Vlad. Yeah, we started an hour late, but we got to give you 2, right? That's how the Wednesday show goes. It's still 140 people watching. Unbelievable stuff. It's a Wednesday night, for God's sakes. Thank you for staying up and hanging with us. Vlad, thank you for the donation. Everyone that joined us, 98 likes, Jesse. 2 more likes. 2 more likes. 2 more likes. And we hit 100, and we let Bruce Buffer wild once again. If you're not subbed, give us a sub. We're looking to get to 17,000 this time. 17,000 subscribers. Unbelievable stuff. We're predicting 30K by the end of the year. Mark our words. We always get our predictions right. Well, 50% of the time. All right, Jesse. Last story.
According to MMA Mania, there is a miffed Tyron Woodley, not chosen one, in hokey new UFC ESPN Plus promo. UFC is coming to ESPN later this month, and what better way to usher in the promotion's new broadcast deal than with a Brady Bunch-style promo that has everyone boxed in like Hollywood squares. I guess the role of Ann B. Davis went to Cody Garbrandt. If you click the link here, it'll show you the promo. Not surprisingly, the reactions from MMA fans were tepid at best, dropping disapproving comments like "cringe fest" and "is this the Glee reboot?" on official SportsCenter Twitter account. And yet, despite its poor reception, UFC welterweight champ Tyron Woodley is mad that he wasn't included. Maybe he likes to sing that da-na-na da-na-na intro, or perhaps he's just one of the sensitive types who never got asked to the prom. Regardless of what it was, on Twitter, Tyron Woodley posted a retweet of Ariel Helwani, who ended up posting this promo saying, quote, "Glad I was included again."
Okay, before we play this, we hit 100 likes, 20 likes.
20 likes.
Yeah! I've got fucking 20 likes, 100.
20 likes. 20 likes.
Dance.
I hope the dislikes die of leprosy.
What an epic night of MMA Wholeness, Season 3, Episode 1. And let's play this cringe fest. Is there copyright fucking music in this shit?
You can always take the
Hold on,
sound
let's lower
off.
this down. It does the this song sounds gay already. Oh my god, hold on a second. All right, hold on. Fuck you know what? Fuck
It's
this.
just
I'm playing
like
it.
Glee.
Yeah, all right.
But what if we get demonetized?
I don't give a fuck. That's worth a replay. All right, hold on. Where's this on their Instagram? Where's this on?
Sports Center.
Sports Center. Hold on. All right, here we go. Fuck it. Who gives it? Fuck. Hold on. You ready?
No, don't keep playing.
You ready? Fuck it. You ready to do it again? Wednesday night. What a way to end the show. What the fuck? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God, do we play it again? Oh, I love it.
It's just like Glee. It's just like Glee.
Oh, it's amazing. Jesse, I want to do it one more time. Holy shit, that was a gem. That was a goddamn gem. What? That is their fucking promo? That's what ESPN's doing?
I guess. Rose Namajunas was in there. Yeah, I saw her.
Oh my God. Do you think you think Dustin Poirier is like, yeah, I'm doing this right now. Here we go. You guys ready? You guys ready? Let me get a denanet in the chat, however you want to spell it.
TJ Dillashaw. Kimura Usman.
Oh my God.
Henry Cejudo.
Oh.
What is wrong?
Oh God. Oh, it's so great. Oh, it's so great.
Ta-na nerd face, not cringe, by the way.
Welcome to ESPN. If that doesn't sell ESPN Plus, I don't know what does. Oh, Denanet. Oh yeah. Look at him. Look at his face. Look. Look at that face. Oh, just check out that face. It's fucking beautiful. I'm sorry, I'm red. I'm fucking dying. I can't fucking stop. Oh, let me see if I can recreate that face over there. All right, here we go. All right. There's Dustin Poirier. If you're listening on Podbean and iTunes, I'm going to recreate Dustin Poirier's face over here. Ready? All right, here we go. What do you think? All right. One more time. Oh, that's got to be a donation. Oh, that's great. Oh, God. That was worth it. That was worth the demonetization. Oh, all right. What were they thinking? They had the ESPN as a marketing team. That's what they did. This is, let me just put this, let's paint this picture, okay? This is a sport where two men get in a cage or two women get in a cage. They lock the door to the cage. And then they beat the fuck out of each other with 4-ounce gloves. Knees, elbows, feet. They could practically do anything to each other. They could put toes in eyeballs. Completely legal. By the way, Kat Zingano's eyes fucked up from Megan Anderson. And then they're like, okay, here's the deal. We're going to bring the UFC to ESPN. We got to make this ad. We got to make this pop. We need something for the hardcore fans out there. This is a vicious sport. This is a sport that we're bringing something special to ESPN here. I think I've got something. Let's get some killers. Let's put them together. And everyone is wondering where Rose is at. Well, she's here. She's doing
and
this.
Henry Cejudo.
Yeah, I know Isaiah Moore says he's not going to sleep. Do a favor, Sports Center over here. Make your what are the comments on this? They got to be great. UFC says we can't wait. Oh God, I'm sure they can't. When the cringe is too strong.
Thug Rose is so adorable.
God, that was so lame. There is Andrade flexing. Jack Nicholson likes it. All right. Kanye West shaking his head. This is on the feed. Make sure you spam some MMA-Hole shit on Twitter. Yeah. Yeah, Jonah Hill don't like it. Delete. These are the this is on, you gotta fuck around over here. Anyone on Twitter, real, this is a job for you. This is I fucking love this. Oh my God. Oh, that's so great. All right. Well, what a way to end the show. I haven't laughed that hard in a while. That was funny. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. That shit was funny as hell. Like everyone's coming in there like the Brady Bunch. Glee shit. All right, Jesse.
Yeah.
Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about ESPN's little promo video over there when this video winds down. And we'll see you on Friday night. Make sure you subscribe to Not the MMA Holes, our second channel, and JBH's channel, link in the description. You never know. You never know when we'll be live on those channels. This channel over here, maybe we'll do a pillow talk. Who knows what's going on? Fook Off Friday is this Friday. Next week, we have the MMA Holes Hour. We're actually going on a mini vacation, myself and JBH, so you'll be missing us for Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. Those 3 days were gone. But Friday, we're coming back super strong. A lot of stuff to bring to you for the big fights coming up this weekend. And we say fights plural because the UFC is not the only thing that's going on. Jesse, look into their hearts and souls. Say the magic words, and we'll see them on Friday.
We will see you guys again for Fook Off Friday. Don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA-Hole.
Dun-dun-dun, 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 dun-dun-dun.
Human.